not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
The Earth is becoming too small for us. Our physical resources are being drained at an alarming rate. We have given our planet the disastrous gift of climate change. It is time to explore other solar systems. Maybe the only thing that saves us from ourselves. I am convinced that humans need to leave Earth. The technology is almost within our grasp. Spreading out into space will completely change the future of humanity. The most obvious is the Moon. We could have a base there within 30 years. It is close by and relatively easy to reach. We have already landed on it and driven across it in a buggy. Mars is the next most obvious site, and we could reach it in 50 years.
Amazingly enough, we now know that nearly every single star in our galaxy hosts a planet. And something like 1 in 5 of those stars hosts a planet something like the Earth, at just the right distance from the star to have liquid water exist on the surface. We know that the galaxy is awash in water. It's awash in organic molecules and complex chemistry. All of the things that we know were necessary for life to begin on this planet exist in abundance throughout the galaxy.
Well, they discovered Proxima B, a rocky planet 1.3 times the size of Earth within the habitable zone, but just barely. Like most planets around red dwarfs, Proxima B is probably tidally locked, meaning one side always faces the sun and the other is always frozen. It's possible this one is not, as it's so far out in the habitable zone, but we will assume it is.
We now know of thousands of planets in the galaxy. And this one, though, is different. It's special because stars are really, really far away, to get technical about it. This one, being close, is a little over 4 light years away.
red dwarfs used to be considered bad candidates for life, as they give off massive X-ray flares relatively periodically that overall are 4,000 times the intensity the sun gives off, which could wipe out an entire Earth-like population.
There are those who would argue that it would be better to spend our money on solving the problems of this planet rather than wasting it on a possibly fruitless search for a new planet.
You never know how soon somebody's going to invent a warp drive. It could happen next year, not likely. Next century. It's cheap to find planets. You're saying, let's focus on our own planet and on exoplanets? It's telescope time.
Could our technology progress far enough that we could actually become an interstellar civilization sailing between the stars on giant spacecraft? This is the ultimate question of the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. We're searching for life beyond the Earth, but truly what we're searching for is our own future. We're asking the question, what is the future of an intelligent civilization? How long can they last? This is something that a pioneer in this field, Philip Morrison, called the archaeology of the future. Because of the finite speed of light, we're studying civilizations that as they were 1,000 or maybe 10,000 years ago. Our galaxy is 100,000 light years across. So if we detect a signal from a civilization that is on the other side of the galaxy, we're seeing that civilization as it was 100,000 years ago. But because our galaxy is so old, many billions of years, it's likely that that civilization we detect is much, much more advanced than we are and has been around much, much longer. So although we're looking at that civilization's past, we may be looking at our own civilization's future.
The Holocene has ended. The Garden of Eden is no more. The only conditions modern humans have ever known so far are changing, and changing fast. What we do now and in the next few years will profoundly affect the next few thousand years.